Welcome back to the channel. Today's video, I wanted to talk about how my life has basically changed ever since I became a crypto millionaire. Now, I know it sounds like I'm flexing, like I'm trying to brag, but it's really not about that. I have purely altruistic goals here with this video. I wanted to let you know some things that surprised me and things that I think that you probably should know in case you haven't become a crypto millionaire or a millionaire yet. So first things first, the number one thing is that my life really hasn't changed a lot. And the biggest reason for that is because a million is not as much as a person might think it is. Ever since I started to learn about crypto and investing and, doing the right moves in order to grow my crypto capital, so to speak, it sort of reminds me of that movie Wall Street, if you remember the old classic from the 80s, and Charlie Sheen's character, he says something like he's signing some papers and he says something, "I never knew how poor I was until I started to make some money." And it's very true, because the thing is, once you start earning a lot of money, that's when you start to realize how poor you really are. The money that we earn normally from a day job, it's usually just enough to pay for, the bills, the food, the rent, and that's pretty much it. But when you start to make a lot more money, you start to get a very different perspective of money in general. You start to see as money as investment capital and not so much spending money, because that's the way people usually think about money, because we basically only can afford to use our money to spend on groceries and bills and stuff like that. But when you start to make a little bit extra, when you start to be able to invest money into investments, then things really change. And so, for example, I'm not going to go into the specifics of exactly how much I have, but I could, if I wanted to, I could take time off from work. Yes, I'm still working, and I could pretty much, take a sabbatical for a year, maybe 3 or 4 years even, and then it will be the end of it. So it's very important to understand that just because you have a lot of money, it doesn't mean that you're liquid for life. It doesn't work that way. You get a very different sense and perspective of money in general. It sort of feels like, for me, money has become this new thing. I see it more like wealth and not just money. It's capital that I can put into investments and then gain something from it. And it's not just, buying some cryptos that are very cheap and then they skyrocket, which they usually do in the crypto market. It's amazing. Once you start learning how to invest and which crypto are good, you really start to realize, like, that's amazing. I can make a lot of money from this. But it's also other things, like you can lend your crypto, you can get interest, you can do things called staking, for example, you can lend your crypto, and there's lots of different ways how you can earn money, passive income from your crypto investments. And so I'm very careful about, not giving bad advice here, because I think that for most people that I've tried to help, like friends and family, they pretty much always ask the same question. Okay, which crypto should I buy? And I try to explain it. Look, it's not about which crypto you should buy, because it's all about getting involved with your investment. You have to read up on stuff. You have to learn things. You can't just pick the winners and then just wait to cash out. You could try it, of course. Like, for example, I could give you the top 10 cryptos that I think are gonna perform very well in the upcoming year. And I will probably be right about 6 of 10 at least. It's actually a lot, don't get me wrong. 6 out of 10 is pretty good. So for example, let's say you want to invest $1,000 into crypto and I tell you, buy these 10 cryptos, you'll do pretty well, but you won't know when you're supposed to sell it. And so what happens is you're gonna spend money on investments and then you're gonna waste it when it goes down, because you don't know how to read the market. And so you have to really learn these things. And I'm still learning as I go along. I've learned a lot these last couple of years about crypto and I've earned a lot of money from it. But I'm still not at that spot where I can just cash out and just live off of it for the rest of my life. I'm not there yet. And that's fine. because it's very much different, definitely changed my perception of money. And I sort of, it's a very interesting feeling to have capital. I'm not talking about just spending money. If you start to see as money as something completely different than just spending money, then things really start to change. So everything that I earned from crypto, I pretty much put back into crypto on new investments. And that's how I'm gonna grow my wealth and create more assets, which will generate more money. And finally, I will probably be set for life. But the thing about crypto that you always have to remember is that it's very turbulent, it can go up and down, and nobody, I repeat that, nobody can predict the future. Not in stock, not in crypto, not in real estate. It's just forecasts and wishful thinking. There's a lot of people, for example, who think that Bitcoin is just going to keep on inflating and inflating. And there's a lot of people who believe in Cardano and Ethereum. And, I would agree to a certain extent, but there is also a limit. Like nothing is going to go up forever. You have to know when to change, move your assets from one crypto to another. And that's something that you can't really just pick up. You have to read about it. You have to make up your own mind, and you have to learn from mistakes. And I made lots and lots of mistakes. I've lost lots and lots of money on crypto, but I keep on learning. I keep progressing, and it's fun, actually. It's a lot of fun to have capital and to be able to afford to make mistakes and stuff like that. But one of the differences that I've noticed when it comes to money is that I actually think I spend less money now because I see the value of money in a very different way. It used to be, oh, I just got the paycheck, I'm just going to pay the bills, and then I'm going to get a new GoPro and a new iPhone, and boom, I'm done. But now it's more like, I can buy an iPhone for $1,000, or I can invest it and earn 100,000, And so every dollar counts, everything. And so that has very much changed for me. I don't waste money as much anymore. And if I do spend money on cameras and stuff like that, to be completely honest, I'm a huge fan of cameras, and I spend a lot of money on GoPros and stuff like that because it's fun. I keep telling myself, well, I do it because I invested into my YouTube channel and stuff like that. But that's just something that you keep telling yourself. It's just not true. The best investment you can do with your money is to actually invest in assets that generate money. And that's through investing in crypto that will go up, or investing in crypto that will give good staking returns. And so there's lots and lots of different ways you can earn money from crypto. And I'm going to make more videos about it. But I just wanted to share, how my life has changed. Pretty much not a lot. I still go to work. I don't spend a lot. Like I haven't purchased a new house or anything like that. I could, but then I would lose the capital that I can use to invest in crypto. So I choose not to. I choose to keep on working so I can still free up as much capital as I can to invest into more assets. And I think that's the biggest difference. That's pretty much the only big difference in my life right now, ever since I became a crypto millionaire, that I basically see money as capital and not spending money, if that makes sense. This is very difficult to imagine if you don't have any money. You sort of think like, well, but you use money to pay for bills and stuff. Like that's all you really use money for. But once you start earning money and you use it to invest, it just completely changes your mind about money. Like completely, like complete 180 flip on your perception of money. It's quite fascinating actually. But this idea that money somehow changes you, turns you into some horrible creature. There's that old saying, money is the root of all evil. It's not true. Like I've talked about it before. Some of the friends that I met in my journey in becoming rich from crypto, I met some really rich people, and they've taught me a lot and been very, very generous and really teaching me the right stuff when it comes to crypto. And for that, I'm eternally grateful. But this idea that, rich people are different, they are, because they see money as something that would be the only change. But it's not like it changes a personality where people become less altruistic or, less empathetic. It doesn't work like that. I'm pretty much still the same person that I've always been. I just feel I'm a bit more careful with my money. I don't want to waste potential capital for investments. So that would be the biggest change for me, I suppose. Anyway, just wanted to share some thoughts how my life has changed after becoming a crypto millionaire. Hope you enjoyed this video and stay tuned for more. Take care.